Welcome back to the Tavern, friends. Before you recruit some new minions for the battle, let me welcome you to episode 19 of Tavern Tales, a Hearthstone Battlegrounds podcast. I am your host, Emily Drunk, and tonight we're going to be deep diving into the latest balance patch to hit Battlegrounds. A lot of exciting stuff to talk about on that front, but before we get into the news and introduce you to my co-host, let me just quickly take a moment to thank everyone who is joining us tonight on Twitch for our live show, and of course to thank all of our repeat listeners out there. So joining me tonight in the tavern, as always, is my co-host and learned Ed. Finally, we got a new balance update, a lot of stuff to talk about and kind of like deep dive into. I know you've definitely had more of an opportunity to play since patch day on Tuesday than I have. But, looking back, how have these couple of weeks been treating you in the Battlegrounds?
Massive up and downs is basically the best way I can put it.
Mhm.
It's I'm getting the 400 SR swings, like down 400, up 400, down 400, up 400. Like, what the hell is going on here?
Mhm.
So, yeah, but it's been pretty good. You know, I've been enjoying myself. I've been playing a lot more. That's for sure.
Nice.
But yeah, how's your week been? 2 weeks.
I haven't had drastic fluctuations in regards to my rating. I know, like, on our last episode, I was down, but, like, I clawed my way back a bit. Because, the prior week, I was below 6k. I did get back to 6048 going into our last episode, which would have been episode 18. And as of today, I'm at 6208. So I'm not quite where I was at before that massive, like, 6-game streak where I didn't get a top 4. But, like, the fluctuations have not been too drastic. It's like I win one, I lose one, and I keep, like, kind of, like, going back and forth. But, like, the differential is, like, constantly staying, probably plus or minus 10, depending on whether or not it continues to, like, alternate wins and losses in regards to top 4, bottom 4, or anything like that. But nothing as crazy as what it had been when I was on a bit of a slump. So, just interesting to see, like, I'm starting to get a little bit more consistent with certain heroes, where they've definitely been more comfort picks. Like, I know Dance and Daryl I've been doing very well with. And while, like, the average placement is, like, 3.25 right now out of the 4 games, I've gained 146 rating with him. And then I've also done pretty well with Pyramid in the 3 games that I've played. So that's been pretty good. 2 of those 3 were top 4s. So that net gain was 75. But I had a first place Sindragosa game, which I didn't really expect, where I only lost, like, I want to say, like, 2 rounds of combat in that one, which is just absurd. But, can't just base things off of one game alone. But a lot of exciting stuff happening. Obviously, there's a new patch, that being patch 17.4. A lot of stuff in this one. And also, we got some other stuff on the horizon that will be dropping next week as well. So, let's look at the patch. So, what is with 17.4? Well, it's simple. We got new minions. There are 17 new minions in total. Is that number even right? I don't remember there being 17 listed. Whatever. We got 3 new heroes, and we also have the return of Patches, the pirate, into the hero rotation, and Patches does have a new hero power along with him. So, first off, one of the things that we weren't expecting, Battlegrounds is going to feature shifting minion pools. And by that, I mean that at the start of each game, you're going to have 5 of the 6 available minion types, whether it's, Beast, Demon, Dragon, Mech, Murloc, and Pirates, to form the recruitment pool. So the minions that will be offered by Bob in the tavern to purchase. Now,
Mhm.
because pirates are so new, they are exempt from being pulled. So for now, every game that you're in is going to include pirates. So they'll be looking at the other tribes to pull out of the pool for that given game. And like when I heard about this, I was like, I'm interested to see how this works because obviously, like, let's say you just left everything in there. We're going to get to the point where there are just so many tribes, so many different minions, that there's this ceiling that is there where, like, it's going to make it harder and harder for you to build any sort of synergy with your composition. So I feel like taking one
Mhm.
back is definitely going to help with that issue where it's just going to be a non-issue altogether. But this is not something that we were really talking about here within the tavern.
No, it's not something we were talking about, but it's something that makes complete and utter sense. Like when you look at it, because eventually, like you said, it's going to be one of those. Well, how do you know? How do you build a thing when you're trying to compete with 20 different like archetypes and stuff like that?
Right.
So it makes sense, and I think they did it the right way. Instead of having like a set rotation every week or so,
Mm-hmm.
it rotates every match, which I think is pretty huge. So I'm definitely looking forward to all of that, and seeing how that goes, because like it takes a lot of strategy into it. So like, Pyramid is a good example. Pyramid's probably best with Murlocs. You know, probably.
I mean, I
Well,
wouldn't say there's a definite best, but we
yes,
turn on.
there is. But like certain heroes that aren't like just uh you know all right, here's another one.
Flurl.
Floral. I'm thinking more of a more not like class specific. So Deathwing.
Mm-hmm.
You take Beast out of Deathwing, that kind of really hurts him mid game
Right.
with all those rat packs. You know what I mean? So you got to start thinking, like, does he drop down a little bit because of that?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no beasts, and so on and so forth. So yeah, you kind of really have to take everything into account.
Yeah, it's worth pointing out too that the active minion types that are going to be in that game are displayed for you during hero select. So you're not like going in blind in regards to the actual pick, which is also going to help on that end. Now, outside of that, I know they also lowered the price of the Tavern Pass
Yes.
for the remainder of the Ashes of Outland expansion cycle, and the players that do have access to that also have the new heroes before they are fully released formally on June 23rd. So we got 3 new heroes, all of whom are pirates. I have only gotten to play one of them, but I know it's a little bit different for you. So let's go down the line, and then I want to get your thoughts on the hero power and just your experience with the heroes so far. And then we'll kind of like circle back and look at like HS3 play to see uh, the bigger
Okay.
picture of where they currently are at with the data that we do have, which granted is still fairly early. So the first new hero that we got is Captain Eudora, who has the Buried Treasure hero power, which costs 1. Now, this hero power digs for a golden minion, and it takes 4 digs in order for you to get that golden minion. Now, you do not have to purchase said minion, you get it straight to your hand. When you do play it, just like any gold minion, you do get that, discover, a new minion based off of, the next tier up
Yep.
as well. And this is actually the only hero that I've gotten to play. Now, I will say I did not do well. That was primarily because my early game was absolute crap, and I ended up getting 6th place, and that was only because the Lich King in this game uh, either DC'd or left on turn 1. So theoretically, I got 7th out of 7 in this case. But when I saw this as a mechanic, I was like, okay, 4 turns isn't too much of an investment, because it's 4 gold for a golden minion, which otherwise would have cost you 9. Now, that being said, it is random. What you're gonna get. I know when I got mine, it was the kindly grandmother, because I was at Tavern 2 at the time. Not the best golden minion to get, but regardless, I did get a Tavern 3 minion along with that due to playing a golden card. But for me, Eudora felt kind of, I don't know if I would say middling, but it's hard to really base things off of just one particular game, but I like the idea of the hero power directly tying into the actual tribes within the game. And I'm glad it's not just specific to, like, a pirate or, any certain archetype for the actual minion that you are getting.
Yeah. So this was probably the most fun one I had playing with. I think Eudora is, your first thoughts are, okay, this is broken. And I wouldn't say it's broken. It's definitely very powerful. Because, well, and this is something I was actually watching Crip's stream, and he didn't realize it. You can keep digging after you get that first gold.
Mm-hmm.
You can keep digging. So it's like, oh, well, never mind. You know what I mean? Like, so you can keep digging. I saw, what was it? A video by Kibler. His first game with Eudora, he got a golden brand and a golden brand, and what was the other one? Baron Rivendare. So he got gold both of those. Okay? And he's like, well, this is just broken.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, you're not wrong.
Well, it's like, but what was the likelihood of him actually getting those cards? It's just like,
and I completely get that. I do completely get that. But on top of getting that golden brand and that golden baron, he got 2 tier 6 minions out of it as well.
Right.
Like, it's a simple fact that you get a golden card, which obviously it's better than just having one of those cards, and you get the effect of having a free card on top of that from the tier above. So essentially, for 4 gold, you're getting a golden card plus an upgraded tavern card.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good. Even if the gold card is not really worth it, you still have a chance to get a card from the tier above.
Right.
So,
and even at that point, you're still, the cost is still only 3. If you're selling the minion back,
Exactly. So it's a win-win type of card, but it's not overpowered because it is random. Like, you can get a gold, I don't know, a gold, what's a shit 1/1 card?
Righteous Protector.
Yeah, gold Righteous Protector. There you go. You can get a gold one of those.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's definitely one for the that is super fun to play because you just have no idea what the hell is going on.
Right. So outside of that, we also have a new hero, Sky Captain Craig, who has the Piggy Bank hero power, which costs 0. This one reads, gain 1 gold this turn, and then it increases each turn. And you can use it once per game. So I'm assuming that, you just kind of like hold on to this, then you use it for, whatever amount of gold, and then that's it.
Yes. Now, this one I actually had fun with. You can pull off some crazy wonky stuff with this. And the reason I say that is all right, forgive me if I don't, the math is like It screws with you a little. But okay, so essentially everyone upgraded was at tier 3. The turn after you go to tier 3.
Okay.
I had a strong enough board where I was like, you know what? If I lose, I'm not going to take a ton of damage. I might tie, I might win. I'm not going to take a ton of damage. I turned it in. I went from rank tier 3 to 5.
Interesting.
You know what I mean? So like I'm on tier 5 and everyone just got to tier 3. Like that's what you can pull off with this hero power. And that's a massive advantage. But then you still have to hit the cards after that. That's the tricky part. But yeah, you can do something like that. So like there's one turn, and I forget what turn it is. But if you're at 3, you can go to 4, from 3 to 4, 4 to 5. All in a row.
I'm just looking at when players are using his hero power. And it seems like the 3 biggest turns that we see are turns 6, 7, and 8. Now, 7 would typically be when you would go to Tavern 4. 8 would be the turn before you go to 5. In a lot of cases. So who knows? Maybe that is going to be a go-to strat to power level.
Yeah, and it could be. It's it was super fun, but like I said, you still have to hit the cards, and that's the troublesome part right there.
Right. All right. So I saved this one for last for obvious reasons, because I keep hearing he's broken.
Crazy broken.
And that is Captain Hooktusk, who has the Trash for Treasure hero power, which costs 0. It removes a friendly minion, and then you get to discover one from a lower tavern tier. So I'm assuming by that, like, let's say you're at 3, it would either be... It wouldn't all be like Tavern 2, it would be Tavern 1s and 2s.
I actually have, yeah, it would be that way. But this is one of those where, you know what, you stay at tier 1. Maybe you go to tier 2 if you're feeling saucy.
Really?
Yeah. Because, alright, so here's the thing. It doesn't turn the card on the board 1 lower. It lets you pick from 3.
Right.
You select that one, and then you get to play that card. So you get for 1 gold, you get either the Death Rattle or the Battle Cry. There's a lot of tier 1 Death Rattles, along with Sourless. So basically, every turn, you're basically getting another Death Rattle, getting triples. You know what I mean? Like, it is broken. If there's a card that's going to get nerfed, it's going to be this one. Or a hero power.
I'm looking at the most popular build right now, which is a Death Rattle Sorrowless build. This one does go to 5.
It does go to 5, but 4 of the cards are tier 1.
Yeah, I'm looking at that. So yeah.
Okay. And the only use of the other one is the frickin' macaw. And that card's just fucking nutty in itself.
Yeah, that's an interesting card. But we'll get to that in a bit. So again, like I haven't had a chance to try this one. I don't know if I would try Forever One on like my first attempt, just because like I haven't played the hero at all.
No, but it's definitely one where
it's viable.
Oh, it's super viable, and you kind of want to like stay on one for a while, because if you also look at this, the monstrous macaw is tier 2. Well, you're going to be making a lot of triples.
Oh yeah.
So you're bound to get a macaw sooner or later. So it's like you can truly stay on one for a while, and then just call it a day.
Right on. So back to Pirates, we have the return of patches to the hero rotation who has a new hero power, which is Pirate Party. I'm not gonna overpronounce that. But it costs 4. And it reads, get a pirate, and then after you buy a pirate, your next hero power costs 1 less. Now, I'm assuming you haven't played patches, so I'm assuming based on how this reads,
I've seen a lot of gameplay of patches.
it would be like the cost reduction would just be for that turn or like that next turn.
Nope. Carries over.
Really?
The next time you cast a hero, costs 1 less.
So what you're saying is it would basically you could get the cost down to 0 and then it would stay that.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
But you get to but like and then you buy, and then it resets to 4. So then you can buy some more, and that gets interesting. Yeah. Okay. So it's like, I forget the hero with the dragon. I automatically put a dragon, like in Bob's tier. That's Ysera?
Yeah.
Ysera. This is it's semi similar. It's not going to give you a tier 6 pirate when you're at tier 3. It's going to give you that tier or below. When you get, and it will just be in your hand. You don't buy it. So this is another one where you get a minion essentially for free by buying other minions. And there's I've seen some wonky gameplay with this that I'll get into when we start talking about some of the cards.
Okay.
Because there's a way that you can get infinite like pirates. Almost infinite pirates. But like, yeah, it's pretty wonky.
Interesting. All right. So outside of that, additional hero changes, most of which are just to like reflect the fact that we have pirates now. So Rat King has been updated to include the pirates tribe. They also made it where it no longer always starts on beasts. And then, let's say Murlocs are out of the rotation for the game, that tribe won't be triggered with your hero power. So you don't have to worry about, like, essentially a dead turn where you wouldn't be able to buff something if you were to buy it. Same with Queen of Wagtoggle. They updated it to include pirates as well. And I know they fixed the Malygos bug with the hero power where it wasn't actually giving you a new minion whenever you used it. That was on the server side, so that one did not require any sort of update to the game itself. So that is already in place. And outside of that, we got a couple of things removed from the pool. We have Professor Putricide, who has long been on the bottom of HS Replay for quite some time. He's no longer available to play in Battlegrounds. And then they also, and this is a pretty big one, they removed Holy Mackerel from the minion pool. And thank God, I cannot tell you how many games, Ed. It's been double Divine Shield Poison Mackerels. And it's just like, even if I get a ghoul, it's not gonna matter. Because it's still gonna refresh it, and it's just like, ugh. So I'm so glad we don't have to worry about that, because there was really no work around that.
There was not. The double mackerel was not being used as I assume that they intended for it to be used. So, I think everyone, I haven't heard anybody be like, oh, come on, why did they get rid of it? No, people were generally happy that they got rid of it in the game. Like, I'm not hearing much backlash on this one, so good on them. I hope I don't ever see it. It's particularly nasty when you put taunt on it with other Murlocs. So disgusting.
Yep, it's a thing of the past, so we don't have to worry about it. But what we do have to worry about, potentially, is the new pirates. There's definitely some interesting cards in this a lot. Probably one of which I'd say definitely is not a pirate, that I immediately just was tilted by. But we're going to go through the pirates first, and we'll go tavern by tavern here.
Okay.
So at Tavern 1, we have the Deck Swabble that has 2 attack, 2 health, and its battle cry reduces the cost to upgrade Bob's Tavern by 1. You also have Scallywag, which has 2 attack, 1 health, with a death rattle that summons a 1 of 1 pirate, which attacks immediately. So, the Scallywag one's definitely pretty interesting, especially when you consider that that could be another trigger for your Arcane Cannon. That pirate will also get buffed by other pirate minions as well, so there's a little bit of snipe potential in regards to that particular death rattle.
There 100% is. Scallywag is actually pretty powerful. Um, tier 1 card. Now it's it's hard to quantify it. Like, you want to think of it as like a token,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not as powerful. Like, it's a different type of powerful than a token. Um, Main reason being, when you can sell one of the tokens for gold.
Right.
So, but when you pair this, and I think you have to, when you talk Scallywag, you need to also pair with it the Arcane Cannon, which we'll be talking about later.
Mm-hmm.
And that is because it's one of those things where I it works so well that, like, all right, I'm just gonna bring up the Arcane Cannon, that because I have to talk about it to do this. It's
Right.
the Arcane Cannon's tier 2, can't attack after an adjacent minion attacks, deal 2 damage to an enemy minion. So here's the thing: you get that next to the Scallywag next to the Arcane Cannon. You're doing 2 damage with the Scallywag, another 2 damage with the cannon, and then immediately doing another 1 damage with his Death Rattle, and then another 2 damage with the Arcane Cannon. So
That's
right there,
7 damage.
yeah, you're doing 7 damage from 1 card essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's broken to me.
Definitely can be. Now, moving up to Tavern 2, we also have 2 other pirates. We have the South Sea Captain, that is 3 attack, 3 health, and then it gives your other pirates +1/+1. We also have the Free Dealing Gambler, which has 3 attack and 3 health, and that minion sells for 3 gold. So
Very important when we talk about something in a little bit.
absolutely. So really, like, you're not taking a loss if you buy this one, which is definitely interesting. Not really like anything that we have seen, like card flavor wise thus far. Usually, it would just like buff the board if you were to sell like the one dragon. Um, not too much interesting to know about Captain. I mean, it's just what we would expect from that card because it's just like the actual Hearthstone card.
Mm-hmm.
Moving up to Tavern 3, we got the Yo-Ho Ogre, which is a 2 attack, 8 health taunt minion. And after that minion survives being attacked, it gets to attack immediately. Okay, you can see some potential in that one. And, 8 health is actually pretty sizable. Tavern 3. We have the Salty Looter, which has 3 attack and 3 health. And then whenever you play a pirate, you gain +1/+1. And then we have the Bloodsail Cannoneer, which has 4 attack and 2 health. That gives your other pirates +3 attack, and that is a battle cry.
Yep. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the Salty Looter. The Salty Looter is definitely an endgame worthy for certain builds. Whenever you play a pirate, gain +1/+1. You almost have to treat it like a dancing Daryl type of thing. And again, I'll get into that build a little bit later on because there's one key card that you need. But the Yo-Ho Ogre is really their only taunt that they have. And it's pretty good taunt. But I will say it's awesome next to the Arcane Cannon. Because it's just taking, it's like, okay, well, you're gonna attack me on my taunt. Well, he's gonna attack and then do 2 damage to you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So you attack me and you take 2 damage. So it's pretty powerful against Arcane Cannon, but that's more mid game
Right.
than anything, personally. So yeah, I it's it's such a such a good card early game. Ugh, can't get over it.
All right, well, moving up to Tavern 4, we also have 3 pirates. We got the South Sea Strong Arm, which has 5 attack and 4 health. This is a battle cry minion that gives a friendly pirate +1/+1 for each pirate you bought that turn.
hmm
Uh,
It's an okay card.
okay, not great.
No, it's not great, but it's still good. So yeah, it's your run of the mill, decent. Only good if you're playing a pirate, but at tier 4, 5/4 is not horrible stats.
It's more potential health for your ogre, for your one taunt.
Yes,
Uh,
my
out,
one taunt.
outside of that, we have the Gold Grubber, which is 2 attack and 2 health, and then at the end of your turn, you gain +2/+2 for each friendly golden minion. That's a really weird card. I don't know if this is only here because of the Dig Hero, but I do remember, looking back at that one build for Hook Tusk. That card was definitely among the lot, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's pretty powerful at this point. It's definitely one of those cards that you want to keep around.
Yeah, it's not like dependent on combat either, like the Hangry Dragon is.
No, it is not. It's it's going to keep growing and growing and growing, and eventually we all get Goldens, and it's just gonna keep growing and growing. But this is one that it's labeled a pirate, but it's probably best used in non-pirate builds, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're definitely getting golds, like in the Sourless deck. You're definitely getting golds out of that.
Right.
So it's best in something like that, which is a beast deck.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, decent card.
Yep. Then we also have the Rip Snarl Captain, which has 3 attack and 4 health. That says whenever another friendly pirate attacks, give it +2/+2. All right, so more snipe potential on this one as well.
Yeah. It doesn't stick, so it's not permanent. So I mean, I guess that's good. But yeah, it's a decent card. Nothing too crazy.
All right, moving up to Tavern 5, a couple of options here as well. We have the Seabreaker Goliath, which has 6 attack and 7 health. This is a Wind Fury minion that has an overkill that gives your other pirates +2/+2. We also have Nat Pagel, Extreme Angler. It says 8 attack, 5 health, and has an overkill that summons a 0 attack, 2 HP treasure chest. Now, I'll be honest, Ed, I completely forgot to write down what the treasure chest actually does.
Okay, so it's a 0/2, gives you a random legendary.
Interesting.
So
an RNG.
Oh, complete RNG.
Okay, that's interesting.
But still, yeah, it's still good. But yeah, it's definitely something interesting that I would highly recommend people explore more. Because like you think overkill as a mechanic in this game has not been that worthwhile. Really, overkill has not been something
mostly for Herald of Flame has probably been the best out of the lot.
Mm-hmm.
And everything else has just kind of been kind of not noticeable.
Yeah. Now, with the way pirates are built up, you're getting more overkills than normal. because when they attack, they are gaining attack and health. So they are basically going into it like, oh, okay, well, you know, you're coming in with a 6/7 for overkill, but are you like really? Because like, let's say you have the Rip Snow Captain. Well, now you're coming in with an 8/9.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not even including the tier 6 one, or if you have more than one Rip Snarl. You know what I mean? So you are, whew, you could do some damage with this. This Pirates, I've learned, is all about board buffing,
Mm-hmm.
but not permanent board buffing, which is what a lot of people have.
Right. So the other Tavern 5 menu that we got is Captain. I'm not going to say it how it's written. It's Hogger.
Yeah.
Who has a 6 attack and 6 health. And then after you buy a pirate, you gain a gold for this turn only.
Mm-hmm. So pair this so this is the card I want to talk about when I was referring to patches.
Mm-hmm.
So you can, if you get a golden Captain Hogger, you get 2 gold back per pirate that you buy. Okay. So you keep buying these pirates, and they're only costing 1 gold as long as they're up. And that's not even if you get a Freedling Gambler, where you actually gain 2 gold by buying it. So you are basically cycling through, and you're just getting pirates, and you're getting pirates left and right.
Mm-hmm.
By doing this, if you can get a Captain Hogger early gold, which is not easy to do, but still a thing.
Right.
But yeah, that's one of the builds I've seen, and it's pretty good.
I'll definitely keep that in mind. I do like that mechanic though, just because like we don't really see too many that directly impact the economy.
Oh, for sure. Like this is one where you're just like, this is like, you need speed to pull off like a true Hogger turn. Because you're just doing nothing but buying left and right, buying left and right, buying left and right. And you know what? Sometimes you just gotta be like, ah, shit, what do I do now?
So basically, if you're on mobile, advise against it.
Do not play the Hogger strat on mobile.
If you're on PC, you better have good APM. Just so you can do enough moves per minute in this case.
Correct.
Otherwise, you're just going to run out of time. Which can happen, even with other strats out there. But anyways, moving up to Tavern 6, we got 1 pirate minion, and that is the Dread Admiral Eliza, with 6 attack and 7 health. And then whenever a friendly pirate attacks, you give all friendly minions +1/+1. Is that for that turn, or is that, like...
Just that turn.
Okay.
But trust me, it scales real well. Like, because you can bring in the Seabreaker Goliath that has Wind Fury, so that's 2 attacks. So everyone on your board gets +2/+2,
Right.
just for that one person attacking. So yeah, it is definitely nasty. This is a card I've kind of come to realize that makes it work. Like makes the whole, pirates are good, but they also, if you don't have Dread Admiral Eliza late game, you're hurting a little.
Right.
You just are. So you need some help late game because of that. So this is what you need. And like the next card is the meme card. let's just flat out say that it's the meme card.
I don't know if I have them in the same order. as the patch notes. Because I went by Tavern.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was talking the other tier 6.
The Tide Razor? That one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's talk about that since you just mentioned it anyways. So the Tide Razor is a neutral Tavern 6 minion that has 6 attack and 4 health. That is a Death Rattle card where you summon 3 random pirates.
Yeah. It's the meme card. It's not a bad card to get. Like, if you get, like, a tier 6 upgrade,
Mm-hmm.
and it's one of them and the other ones are just shit, it's not horrible because it's slightly better than a gas coiler if you're not running beasts. Because a lot of the pirates just have great synergy together.
Right.
Um, so yeah, but like it's a meme card. It's the meme card. Has some practicality, but it's a meme card.
Alright, so the other 2 minions, one of which we've already talked about. So just as a refresher, we have the Arcane Cannon, which is a neutral at Tavern 2. That has 2 attack, 2 health. It cannot attack, but after an adjacent minion attacks, it deals 2 damage to an enemy minion. Now, I know in the games that I've played, I've definitely felt the impact of this card.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're talking about, like, power level of Tavern 2 minions, this one is definitely in line with, say, an auto buy, just like, Spawn of Insoth. Like, the amount of damage this thing is able to put out when other minions attacks is just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I can 100% see it getting bumped up to tier 3. Just because of the way it plays with other cards. It's not a late game. It's not an end game card.
Right.
Because doing having this is like having a full demon build and then having the one soul juggler non-golden.
Mm-hmm.
You're just like, what are you doing? I have 30 health on All Might. You're not affecting anything. The other thing is it does have some downfalls. It can get sniped pretty easily.
Yep,
It can't
leave.
attack. So if it gets sniped early, it's basically game over for it. But with that said, it's still super strong in the mid game.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's pretty close to being an auto buy when you see it.
Yep. And then the other new minion that we got, and this is the last one, is a beast. The Monstrous Macaw at Tavern 2, which is 3 attack and 2 health. And after the minion attacks, it triggers a random friendly minion's death rattle. And I couldn't help but hear that audible sigh.
Screw this card. Like, this is the best card in the set. And I don't even think it's close. What this thing can do just on its own is ridiculous. This card, a singularity of this card can carry you for a long way. Perfect example. You could have, a 2/4 Cave Hydra. All you need to make this truly a dominant deck is you need Macaw, you need a Baron, and I always forget the name. The tier 5 beast.
Goldrin.
Goldrin.
Mm-hmm.
I can never remember the name. So what it does is it attacks, and then it triggers Goldrin's death rattle 4 times. Like, what the frick just happened? So now all of a sudden, your simple Cave Hydra is now a 16/20, and that's before the other Goldrin goes. So then that goes, it gets another +8/+8. And you're just like, that escalated quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So the Macaw is definitely the strongest card in the game, out of the new card. It's because it's a beast. Yes, it's a beast, but you're not playing it solely in beast.
Right.
it works phenomenal with Spawn of Nizal, even early game.
Hmm.
You throw this down and Spawn and Nizal, you just gave everyone +4/+4 before your Spawn and Nizal even goes. Like, and mid game, that's super strong. So like, it's great for mech builds. It's great for really good for beast builds. Um, Not so much pirate builds. There's really only the death rattle from the pirate ship, the tier 6 one,
Yeah, the meme one.
the meme card.
Hmm.
That's really it for that. Demons, probably not. But also the number one new deck is Solidlisk
Hmm.
deck, and a lot of that is made possible by the macaw. So yeah, it is pretty brutal out there. But yeah, it's like it didn't when I first read it, I'm just like, okay, you trigger a friendly death minion's death battle twice, okay, and then like until I started seeing it being played,
Hmm.
you're just like, oh, that's why. Gotcha.
Yeah, combo potential is real.
What and it's so powerful that yeah, it's just so powerful. it's just powerful. But I don't think it needs to get changed to like tier 3 or anything like that, because tier 3, it doesn't matter if you get it in tier 2 or tier 3. Like, it just doesn't matter, because it's it's one of those cards where you can just play it whenever and it will be effective.
Hmm.
So, but it's super strong.
Right on. So the other update for like a minion I forgot to mention, which was like because of the introduction of pirates, is also Light Fate Enforcer. Obviously, that now can also buff pirates. Now that that's the tribe, but really, there's one other thing to note, and that is that next week we actually have another new hero that's gonna get dropped. That is Arana Starseeker, who is Elise's younger sister. So Arana will enter the Battlegrounds on June 16th, and this is an early access hero for players that have the Battlegrounds perks. If you don't have the perks, she'll be entering Battlegrounds on June 30th, so end of the month in that regard. So I have to say, like, this is a very intriguing hero power to me. It is Demon Hunter Train, which is a passive hero power. So after you refresh the tavern 7 times, you will always see 7 minions in Bob's Tavern. So, potential opportunities at more cards. Yes, there's going to be a lot of RNG involved, but it could potentially mean less cycling in the later ends of the game as well. I don't know what. How are you feeling about this particular hero power?
I'm not. All right, so I'm not thinking. I'm not gonna say it's top tier,
No.
but it's a good hero power. Like, it's gonna be one of those. It's gonna be for me right there with I don't bottom of tier 2, I'd say.
I think it kind
Um,
of depends on at what point you've actually refreshed that much.
yeah, like, to me, I'm putting this on the same level as like a Millhouse or Sir Finley. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
on that kind of level, like bottom tier 2 ish. Um, Never gonna be a bad pick. Never gonna be the insta lock pick,
Right.
like the Archvillain Refam or Kel'Thuzas, or you know what I mean, those Norse Dormu. Um, so yeah, it's going to be pretty darn good.
I'm definitely gonna have to get some games in before the podcast next week. Hopefully, we'll get a chance to actually try her ahead of time before episode 20.
Yes.
But no sense in diving too much into it just because it's not out yet. We haven't played her. but we'll have a chance to on Tuesday. So with that being said, I mean that's basically everything within this patch. Of course, there's other stuff for Hearthstone that is included with this patch. You know, there's more adventure stuff coming. You know, you can find the patch notes on the Hearthstone website. And I think they were doing like a free chapter with that one as well, and also doing like a legendary quest, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I didn't read too much into that because it's like every week for the next 4 weeks. Like, all right.
Right. So definitely let us know how you're feeling about the new tribe. Let us know how you're doing with pirates, and how much use you're getting out of, you know, the HS replay stats now that you know you don't have to input any sort of data on your end, which has been really nice. So I think it's time to call it here, Ed.
All right.
Then we can go get our pirate on in Sea of Thieves.
Yes.
Imagine the timing of that. You know, pirates come out in Battlegrounds, and we're gonna venture.
We're like, let's go play Sea of Thieves.
We're gonna go play Sea of Thieves after this with Spider. But anyways, if you guys want to help us out, please do us a favor. Head on over to iTunes and write us a review. Let us know how we're doing and if there is anything you would like to see us incorporate into the show. We'll be back to blaming Celeste Salon for any multitude of things next week. I can promise you that. But if you're looking to contact us, please go ahead and reach out to us. And of course, you can do that a number of different ways. So Ed, please let them know how they can do that.
All right. So you can reach us through email at taverntalespodcast@gmail.com. We are on Twitter, and that's at taverntaleshs. We do stream live on Twitch at twitch.tv/taverntaleshs, Thursdays, 5 p.m. Pacific. We are on Discord, and that's at discord.me/OWLN show. You can follow me personally on Twitter, and that's at Ednar83. And I'm also on Twitch at twitch.tv/Ednar. Totem, where can they find you?
Well, you can find me over on Twitter at TerminallyDrunkCTR. And when I stream on Twitch, it is also at twitch.tv/TerminallyDrunk. So with that being said, guys, I do want to thank you again for joining us in the Tavern here tonight for episode number 19 of Tavern Tales. Good luck in battle, and we'll see you guys back next week. Have a good night.
See ya.